Okay, so choose a starting position that feels really good. I know I say this often, start however you want to, but I really want you to place your body, even if it means you've got pillows underneath you or your arms wrapped around you or you're in child's pose, someplace where you feel really soothed, like where you would choose to be. Sometimes that's sitting. You can even sit up on a couch, let your eyes rest. And let's have our first step for today be to notice how you kind of answer, how you finish the sentence. What do you feel the energy of? I know energy can be kind of a flaky word sometimes, depending on how you see it, but use it in a really, an honest sense to yourself, something that feels very, even logical if you want. So you might feel the energy of wanting, the energy of stress, the energy of happiness, you know, the whole gamut. Just take a moment. You don't have to change anything, and don't think that you have to feel something positive. You don't. Just notice what you feel the energy of. If you'd like, you can search your own mental dictionary for other words, maybe ones that are a little bit more accurate. Very often, we feel the energy of wanting something besides what's happening, especially, it's really easy to feel this week, this year. Now, you can go ahead and stop. You don't have to use your logic anymore. You don't have to focus right now. Just let your mind do whatever it does, go wherever it wants. So, we're going to practice today, partially with the purpose of reducing stress, the energy of letting things be kind of easy. That doesn't mean the asana practice will be completely easy the whole time. You can choose whether or not you'd like to push. And sometimes working is again, energy that suits the mood, that suits what you need. Just because something is effortful doesn't mean it's bad. Just because something is effortless doesn't mean that it's bad. But let's really let things, for now, as you begin to maybe more accurately, as far as the definition of meditation goes, more accurately observe, start using your attention to notice what comes up, what's weighing on you, what you're grateful for. Of course, one of the ways that we can reduce stress is by dwelling on the right things, to kind of put ourselves in a different place, in a different kind of flow of energy. And it can be really simple. Sometimes the easiest thing for me to do, especially if I feel like I'm struggling, is just to be grateful for the fact that I'm breathing. It's the only thing. I mean, breathing is the one thing that we really need. And our body's doing it for us all the time. So let's notice the breath. And if you'd like, you can soften the eyebrows away from each other. You can soften the eyelids, relax the bottom jaw, and observe your breath. Without dissecting the breath, trust that you are fine, that your breathing is fine. Whether or not you're breathing deeply or shallowly, the body will go in and out of the two based on what's happening, based on what you're thinking, based on the external environment too. If you would like to intentionally breathe quite slowly a bunch of times to see how that affects you, please do. Just really languid, slow, choosing the easy path, breathing. Now, sometimes when I'm trying to notice what's really going on with my thoughts, whether or not I'm cultivating something useful or not, and I wish I could say I've found out the way to never cultivate useful thought patterns. I know what to do. I'm getting a little bit better. But sometimes the little reminders help. When you're caught up, like, does it feel to you? And maybe it has a lot for this past week. Does it feel to you like you're pumping the brakes and the gas at the same time? Do you feel this sense of effort again that can come with all sorts of positive or negative emotions and thoughts? But at the same time, you keep kind of stopping yourself or not knowing where to go or what to think. Again, brakes and gas at the same time. And I'd like for you to, without analyzing anything at this point, just go to the breath and only push on the brakes. Just the brakes. No gas, no energy expended. Just everything slowing down and introducing your body and your mind over and over again to a sense of ease, to a sense of safety. Now, one more gentle reminder before we go deeper into the breath in our asana practice. I know that a lot of us are like-minded, which I'm so grateful for. I mean, I care about you guys. So maybe you feel the same way. Sometimes if I feel a sense of helplessness or hopelessness or that any kind of that deep fear, it makes me feel almost selfish, like there's nothing I can do, and then I start thinking too much about myself. But remember, taking care of ourselves is the only way. It is the only way that we're going to be able to be there for other people. Taking care of our minds, truly allowing our systems to de-stress, that is how we can be our best. There's no arguing with that. It's simply the truth. So feel your body breathing again. And let's spend the next 50 minutes or so filling the cup. Okay, so soften your face. If you'd like to begin Ujjayi breath, go ahead, but lots of ease. So if you feel the energy of wanting or anticipation, just allow yourself with a breath, maybe with a specific word, like allow, or let go, or release. Really let yourself relax. Let the pressure come off. Let the need to perform come off. The need to have to do, drop it. Lots and lots of breath. So we're not yet, we're going to meet sitting up. I think I'm going to give you guys another half a minute or so, maybe a little bit longer, just to explore the breath. If you want to start moving now, you can. And a lot of the movements we're going to do are going to be to kind of find out ways to take care of, to give a little bit to the back today. We've been playing with this a little bit this week. We're going to keep up with it. We're going to end up moving our limbs as well, of course. But for the next couple breaths, the next half minute or so, if you want to just see how your back feels, you might go into a twist, back bend, forward fold, side bend, maybe just deep breathing. Go ahead and sit up, please. You can cross your ankles. And when you're ready to, crossing the ankles in the way that's most comfortable for you, place both of your hands to your right knee. And you might find you're twisting a little bit or side bending. Again, it's going to depend on what's happening with your back. You can hold anywhere you'd like near the knee that feels easy. Go ahead and slouch. Let your head drop. You might think like cat pose, and then maybe as you breathe in, you press your hands gently into your leg and allow your torso to turn a little bit more to the right, let your head drop. And then go ahead and sit up. Lift your knee with your hands and lift your chest and lift your face a little bit. So you're still turning to the right, but it's a little bit more with that extension in the back. And then go ahead and just relax your knee and face forward. Place both of the hands to the left leg. Lots of attention on the body. Let's use today, even if we work, right? Use today like you're giving, not asking to the body. When you're ready, let your legs just drop heavily to the floor, feeling really grounded. Let your body slouch and just kind of succumb to gravity. Let your head drop. The only effort is holding on to the leg and letting your whole torso just shift a little bit in a twist to the left. And maybe the next time you exhale, the head gets even heavier and you see how that feels in the neck. And then when you inhale, let your knee lift up. Get a good grip on the leg. Lift your sternum. Lift your nose. Keep breathing. And come on back to center. Let's go a little bit faster. Grab onto your right leg. Inhale. And exhale. As you push gently into the leg, round your back, drop your head. As you inhale, lift your knee, lift your sternum, lift your face. Keep pulling yourself over to the right. And then back to center. Shifting over to the left leg. On an exhale, round your back, drop your head. On an inhale, lift your knee, lift your chest. Back to center when you're ready. One more time each side, grabbing onto your right leg, round your back. Just kind of pushing your right hand into the leg, noticing how that feels everywhere. Drop the head. On the inhale, lift your knee, lift your chest, lift your face. Come on back to center. So last time, grabbing your left leg, rounding your back, pushing the left hand into the leg like you were shifting your knee forward. And then lifting your knee up with both your hands, lifting your sternum, lifting your nose. Lots and lots of breath. Feeling your shoulder blades drop down the back. And come on back to center when you're ready to. Let's interlace the fingers behind the back. And if you can or don't want to interlace your fingers, you can just reach your hands behind you. Go ahead and lift your hands up. If it's uncomfortable for you to sit on your knees like that without rounding your back too much, which is not unsafe, it's fine, but you can always sit up on your knees or even like you're about to do a camel pose. But lift your hands up, unlace your thumbs, drop your head. If you can get the thumb side and the heels of the hands close to each other, go ahead. If you can't, that's all right. But lift your hands with another breath. And then let's relax the hands down towards the tush. And we'll make our way onto hands and knees. Spreading out the fingers. When you're ready, inhale, reach your right leg behind you. Exhale, open your hip out to the right. See how this feels in your back. You can come onto the fingertips of your right hand if you want to and lift that right knee higher. Just take a breath in. Go ahead and put your right knee on the floor. Exhale, the right heel, the hand on the floor. Lift the left leg up. You can point that foot. And then open your hip out to the left. Come onto the fingertips of the left hand. Actually take your left hip point up towards your belly some and see how high you can lift that leg in comfort. And then place the knee down. Tuck your toes. Of course, pat up under your knees if you need to, but keep your toes tucked if you can. When you're ready to, inhale, reach that right leg up again. Left toes are tucked, point that right foot. And keep your right hip squared off. So turn the knee and the top of the foot to face the floor. Lift your left knee up. And then lift your butt up towards the ceiling like one-legged downward dog. Take your right knee in towards your chest and drop your head. Go ahead and reach your right leg back. Look forward, place your left knee gently down to the floor. Lean into your right hand. Back off, let it be easy. Inhale, focus your eyes, lift your left arm forward. And exhale, reach your left hand and your right leg away from each other. Breathe in. And then lower your left hand, lower your right knee, tuck the toes. When you're ready, pushing your hands into the floor, focus your eyes, reach your left leg back. Inhale, point the foot. See how that feels on your ankle. Pushing into the floor with your right toes. Go ahead and start to lift the knee up. Pushing your hands into the floor. Like a really short downward dog, take your left knee in towards your face. Tuck your tailbone. Feel like you're trying to move your knee and your face towards each other. And then go ahead and reach your leg back, look between your hands, and really gently place the right knee to the floor. Take a breath in, focus your eyes again. Feel like you can move your pelvis and your ribcage away from each other, and then reach your right arm forward. Imagine a gentle pulling of your left leg and your right wrist away from each other, and breathe in. And then breathe out, let them settle back to the floor. Toes tucked again. Inhale, reach the right leg up behind you. Exhale, point the foot. Inhale, lift your left knee, lift your hips like a teeny tiny downward dog. Exhale, take your right knee in towards your chest. You can round your back like cat pose and maybe tuck your chin if you like the way that feels on your neck. And then inhale, lower your left knee, reach your right leg out, and pause. Take the left arm forward like we did before. Breathe in, stretch. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze when you breathe out, like you could squeeze every muscle on your body except maybe the ones in your face. One more breath in. And then lower your hand, lower your knee. Inhale, reach your left leg back, point the foot, and just stretch out the top of the foot. Tucking the right toes if they're not already. Push into the floor with your hands. You might even start going into cat pose, so flexing your spine a little bit, puffing up through the space between the shoulder blades. Lift your right knee. Take your left knee in towards your rib cage. Maybe drop your head. And then looking forward, reach that left leg back. Release your right knee to the floor. Let everything be easy. And then as you're ready, reach your right arm forward. Easy for now. Think stretch, lengthen. And then squeeze like you could squeeze every muscle in your body. See how your back feels. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Inhale. Exhale, release your hand and your knee. You don't have to tuck your toes anymore, unless you want to. Come up onto your fingertips. And when you're ready to, inhale, lift your sit bones, lift your sternum, lift your nose. Exhale, pushing your fingertips into the floor, round your back, drop your head. Inhale, sit bones up, sternum up, look up, pause. Really feel your shoulder blades moving towards each other. And then let your elbows bend just an inch or so. See how that feels on your back? Go ahead and straighten your arms, round your back, drop your head. Really tuck your tailbone. And then inhale, lift it one last time. Lift your sternum, glide your shoulder blades in towards each other and down towards the back. So you're engaging your lats, some of your traps, and your rhomboids. Stay here, but if you like the way it feels, you can let your elbows bend a little bit, like you're dipping your chest towards the floor. And then go ahead and lengthen your arms, your spine, plant your hands again to the floor, and let's go into downward dog. So again, if you were to finish the sentence to yourself, just for the thought experiment, what would it be? I'm experiencing or feeling the energy of what? Is it wanting? And can you just shift your perspective like you just kind of walked into a different room where you feel a little bit more ease in the mind, a little bit more letting go? And as you feel and kind of succumb to or surrender to allowing that ease in your mind, that sense of effortless, that sense of no fighting, feel your hands press more firmly into the floor. Feel the strength of your arms as you take the eyes of the elbows and spin them up towards the ceiling. So that's the side opposite the bony part. Spin them up towards the ceiling and then push your sit bones back and feel that stretch when you exhale on the back of your legs, maybe even in your calves. Inhale, lift your heels and shift your weight over to your hands, plank pose. Good. Exhale, feel like you could puff up the space between the shoulder blades up towards the ceiling and then squeeze your butt. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the glutes. Inhale, and then exhale, lower your knees. Stop working and come onto your belly. From here, we're going to reach just the right arm forward. Put plenty of space between the right hand and your kind of midline. So it's out to the right, like you were making a half of a Y. Inhale, lift that right thumb up towards the ceiling. And let's just hold it there. You can move your shoulder blade down the back if you want to. You can separate your hand out to the right more. But just imagine as you breathe that someone, maybe a kid, someone you love, something playful, was pushing your arm down towards the floor, but you weren't letting it drop. Lift it, lift it, lift it. And again, imagine someone's pushing your forearm down towards the floor and you're lifting, lifting, lifting. And then go ahead and relax. You can place that right hand maybe under your shoulder and take your left arm up and out to the left a bit. Go ahead and lift it up as high as you can. And then do you feel like a tugging or like there's some sort of resistance there? It could be that your bones are quite close to each other, either your shoulder or your shoulder blade. So you might separate your arm out to the left a little more, glide your shoulder blade down the back, see if that feels better. You might sometimes even lifting, especially if your hand's really close to the midline, lifting your shoulder towards your ear can help. I just want you to lift the hand as high as you can while you breathe. And imagine, because this will change what you feel, that someone's pushing your hand down towards the floor and you weren't letting them. And then go ahead and let your hand come down. Notice what's going on with thought. Observe. Press the tops of the feet into the floor. And then when you inhale, lift your chest up, look forward. And exhale, come on down. Inhale, lift your right leg up. And exhale, put it down. Inhale, left leg up. And put it down. Tuck the toes. Lift your shoulders. Point your nose to the floor. And as you're ready to, push the floor away with your hands and your knees and come up to a knees plank pose and then into downward dog. If you'd like to move through another vinyasa or into child's pose, have fun, go ahead. Let's make our way to the front of the mat and fold forward pretty soon. As you're ready to, place the hands to the shins, lift the back up some and gaze forward. Exhale to fold. Come up to stand, maybe by rolling your way up, and see how that feels on your back, on your arms, and shrug your shoulders down. And you might take a moment just to pause. You can close your eyes. Now, not to get you out of your zone, but just a gentle reminder. If you find that your back bothers you when you're sitting a lot or when you're gardening a lot, one of the best things that you can do when you have to do that for a long period of time, garden or sit, is to make yourself move. It's not even exercising. It's just standing up, walking around, getting your body out of that same position it's been in for too long. So we're going to move a lot. We're not going to practice with a lot of stillness today. And just maybe make a little mental note if we do something that you really like, that just feels so good in your back that you don't really want to get out of it. And come back to your breath. When you're ready to, inhale, lift your arms up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, reach your arms forward, round your back and hunch forward. Drop your head. From here, we're going to bend the knees forward like we're trying to cover the feet with the legs. And maybe let your arms drop a little bit more, let your chin tuck a little bit more. From here, inhale, lift your sit bones, lift your sternum, lift your face like cow pose. So we're doing some back bending. You might look up. Maybe you can take your arms back some. And then bring your back to neutral. Bring your arms by your sides. Let's do that again. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach your arms forward, round your back, drop your head. Inhale, bend your knees as much as they do, keeping your heels on the floor if you can. If they come up a little, it's okay. And then go ahead, lift your sit bones behind you. So take your knees back, lift your sternum, lift your arms, take them back, maybe look up. Push your feet into the floor and stand up, neutral back. Arms relaxed. Last time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring your arms forward, slouch, like you're moving your shoulder blades away from each other, taking the space between the shoulder blades towards the wall behind you. Dropping the head, letting your knees bend forward. And then taking your knees and your hips back some, lifting your sternum, taking your arms back, fan out the fingers, look up, stand, relax your arms down. As you're ready, inhale, reach your arms up, and then straighten your right leg, bend your left knee, and turn your torso to the right. Yeah. Take that right knee back, turn your torso to the right. When you're ready, round your back, reach your arms forward, drop your head. Now take your arms, take your torso a little bit more to the right. See how that feels? Go ahead and swing forward like you were trying to lift a giant ball over your head. Look up, lift your arms, and exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the back up some, gaze forward. Fingertips to the floor, step the left foot back. Let's lift up into a lunge or warrior one. For today, you can do whichever one you want. And I would say to do the one that you prefer on your back, because when you drop that back heel, it can really shift the direction your pelvis is facing in a good way. So do the one that you like, and you'll probably know which one it is. If you like them both, whatever you like best today. And as you lift your fingertips, notice what you feel the energy of. You might drop all of your focus into what you feel in your body. And your breathing, which is the only thing you need. Let's take the hands behind the back, interlace your fingers if you can. Unlace the thumbs though, maybe even the forefingers, and shoot your hands down towards the floor. It's okay if your left leg gets in the way. Tuck your tailbone a little bit, and then lift your arms up. From here, inhale, straighten the right leg. If you want to drop your left heel to the floor like warrior one, again, it's up to you, whichever one you like. But we're going to fold over that right leg and lift the arms up. As you're ready, release your hands towards your lower back and then towards the floor. So take your left foot and just slide it over to the right some. This might not be pretty. It might not be graceful. It definitely does not matter. Plant your left hand into the floor, bend your knees, and then come to sit on your left hip. Perfect. So your right leg is going to be folded over it, and you're just going to grab onto your right leg and twist gently to the right. If you don't like the way this feels, you can straighten your left leg. You can even bring your right foot to the inside, but just twist. Pushing your right fingertips into the floor, lifting the top of the head. And when you're ready, let's take that right leg with both hands, drop it down so the foot is going to cross on top of the left leg, like fire log, half fire log pose. Round your back, pushing your right hand into your leg, drop your head, and then lift your knee a little bit, lift your chest, look up, and exhale, lower your knee, round your back, drop your head. And inhale, lift it, and lower it. Let's lift it one more time. And then from here, relax. It doesn't matter how you do this, but we're gonna step the right foot back up to the front of the mat, stretch your left leg back so you end up back in a lunge. Planting your left hand into the floor, or stay on your fingertips or fists. Let's twist once more to the right. Inhale here, lift that back knee really high, squeeze your upper inner thighs in towards each other, lift your chin towards your thumb, and then fingertips down. Left knee down. Inhale, lift your torso, lift your arms. Bend your knees as much as you want, back bend as much as you like, which could be none, could be a lot. Fingertips to the floor, exhale, focus your eyes. Inhale, lift the back knee up. Exhale, step the foot forward and fold. Inhale, back lifts, look forward. Exhale, fold. Roll up to stand. Relax your shoulders. When you're ready to, inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, bend your right knee, straighten your left leg. You can even lock it out as long as that feels gentle, and turn your torso to the left. So right knee's bent, you're twisting to the left, and you're letting your left hip move back. That's going to help you turn your torso some. And when you're ready to, you might stick your hips out to the right a little bit, but reach your arms forward and round your back. Only to whatever degree feels good. Don't do anything that causes pain, of course. Drop the head, keep going to your breath. Maybe reach your arms a little bit more to the left. And then go ahead and inhale, swing forward. Lift your torso, lift your arms so you're standing up straight-ish. And exhale, dive forward. Inhale, lift the back up some, look forward. Lower your fingertips and send your right leg back. So warrior one feet or high lunge feet, whatever you please. Lift your torso, lift your arms. And stop struggling. Whatever is happening, just give yourself this little bit of time to give up the fight, to spend your energy really wisely, really well. And we'll bring the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers if you like to. Again, if you don't, you can just reach your hands back. Back heel can be to the floor like warrior one or up, yogi's choice. Reach your hands down. It's okay if they touch your butt or your right leg. And then lift your chest, straighten your left leg some. You might start lifting your hands now, but begin to fold over that left leg. When you feel a little resistance in your body, stop there and explore that. And you might find now you go a little tiny bit deeper because your body is tolerating. Release your hands towards your back first, then towards the floor. Walk your front foot over. You can kind of toe heel the foot over to the right some, or step your back foot over to the left some. Planting your right hand into the floor. You can bend your knees. You don't have to keep any parts of your feet necessarily down, but really bend your right knee and then let your right hip come down. So your left knee, you can scoot your feet as close as you want to you. You can straighten your right leg out, but your left knee's bent, so you can twist to the left. So you're going to put your right hand to your left leg, left fingertips behind you. Now, to be clear, you don't have to straighten your arms. You don't have to sit up really tall every time you twist. I'm sure you're learning that as we go. But for a couple of breaths, hold pretty tightly onto your leg and really lift your chest up. Really turn your face to the left. You might come out of the twist a little bit, and we're going to set the legs up so the right leg can straighten. It doesn't have to, but you might straighten it. And the left leg crosses over like half fire log pose or half double pigeon. Grab onto that left leg with both of your hands. And when you're ready to, let your leg drop. Push your left hand into your leg like you're turning your torso to the left some, and round your back gently like cat pose. Drop your head. Doesn't have to be a lot of range of motion. Inhale, lift the knee. Lift your sternum. Lift your face. Maybe your chin. Good. Exhale, round the back. Let your knee drop down. And inhale, lift. And exhale, round. One more. Again, it doesn't matter how you do this, but we're going to end up facing the front of the mat again with the left foot forward, the right foot to the right of the left foot in a standard lunge that you're already so good at and accustomed to. Right hand or fist down, and just for a couple of breaths, squeeze in with your upper inner thighs and then twist over to the left, reaching your left hand up. You don't have to lift your chin up towards the ceiling, but you might just turn your chin in the direction of the thumb some and really glide your shoulder blade, your left shoulder blade, in towards the right one. And the fingertips come down. Pop the right foot, let's put the knee to the floor first. I almost forgot. And do a bit of a low lunge, maybe with a back bend, so you can lift your torso, you can lift your arms. It's okay if that left heel comes off the floor. And fingertips lower. Now we'll step that right foot forward and fold. And have a couple of breaths. Inhale, lift the back up some and gaze forward. Exhale, fold. Come on up to stand however you want. You can round your way up, or you can lead by lifting your sternum. And then let's relax the arms down. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, straighten your right leg, bend your left knee, and allow your torso to turn to the right. Yep. And when you're ready, let your torso kind of reach forward with your fingertips and your head, and then drop down. Inhale, push your feet into the floor, lift your torso, stand up straight. Exhale, let's bend the right knee, straighten your left leg, and turn your torso to the left. Go ahead and reach your torso and your arms, rounding your back like cat pose. So we're rounding the back and we're doing a side bend. All these things our spine are built to do. And then come on back up, face forward, inhale. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the back up some. We're going to go through some of our basic warrior poses. Fingertips lower, left foot goes back. We'll not do warrior one, but lift your torso into one or a lunge for a moment, and then we'll meet in warrior two. So let's take the left hand and reach over the back leg like we were going to go into a reverse warrior, and then reach over the front leg. And then go ahead and sit up straight, straighten your right leg, turn your feet so they're parallel to each other. And just pay attention to your whole body, to what you like, to what it feels like, just like you just did. But your feet are parallel now. Reach your left hand to the left, your torso to the left. Back to center and to the right. Upright. Bend your right knee, point the foot forward, back into warrior two. Now with your breath, inhale. Exhale, reach everything to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, everything to the right. Inhale to center. Straighten the right leg, parallel feet, which means your pelvis is probably going to be more parallel. Reach to the left. Inhale to center. Reach to the right. Inhale to center. Now back into warrior two legs. And this time we'll reach to the left and put the left hand to the leg, lift the right arm up. And you can do any variation of this that you like on your back. Right forearm to the thigh for extended side angle. We'll reach the left arm up. And maybe look under it. Look to the floor. Bring your hands down and step back into plank pose, but then lower your knees and your forearms to the floor. When you're ready, with your knees pretty far away from your elbows, lift your heels, lift your feet. You might stay here, but I'd like for you to try, just to see if it suits you, to tuck your tailbone. And again, kind of puff up through the upper back like you were rounding your back into cat pose. This is going to engage some of the muscles around the rib cage in the front a little bit more. And if you're really tucking your tailbone with your hips quite low, you'll feel it probably more in your abdomen too. And this is enough. Because we know that nothing in the body is connected in a straight line, nothing works in isolation, you might find it interesting to lift and lower your feet. The effort required of your abdomen when you move, as well as the effort required of your hamstrings when you flex them more and less, will change what you're feeling. But remember, even if you're choosing to be effortful in a sense of exercising or challenging the body, still use your resources, your mental resources, really wisely. You're doing this to fill yourself up. So if there is a challenge, if there is a stress, it's a good stress. It's a choice. If you're doing this because you think you should, but you're really tired or distracted, go into child's pose. Again, a deep respect for the body, for the mind. Let's meet, even if you're in child's pose, lying down on the belly. And then we'll place the hands maybe a little in front of the shoulders. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears. Like imagine a turtle going into its shell. And then go ahead and lift your chest up some. The elbows can bend out to the side or bend back. This is a little silly looking, but I think we've been told too much not to do this, even though it's so normal for the human body, for the human shoulders to do. And it's probably a bit of an aesthetic thing. But notice how it feels when you're not doing it accidentally. And then go ahead and let your shoulder blades drop down. You might imagine your shoulders like the parts of I don't remember what they're called, spokes or something on a train on the wheels, and then roll them a little bit forward, tiny, tiny circles, and then back and down, tiny circles. If you've got a lot of mobility here, maybe the circles are a little bit bigger, but not much. And then when you're ready to lift your chest, look up, straighten the arms, lower onto your belly. Of course, by straighten the arms, whatever degree feels good. Let's press up to hands and knees or plank, and then into downward dog. We'll walk up to the front of the mat. Again, keep checking with your energy. Inhale, lift your back up some and gaze forward. Fingertips come to the floor and the right foot goes back. Warrior one or lunge just for the inhale. And then warrior two. You can point your nose wherever you want. But reach your right hand, the right side, the torso over to the right. Inhale to center. Reach it forward. And to center. Let's make the feet parallel. Legs straight, feet parallel. Inhale. When you're ready, reach to the right again. Back to center. Again, on the inhale or the exhale, whatever feels easiest. Don't even think about it. Reach to the left. And to center. Spin the left foot to face forward. Bend the knee, warrior two legs. Reach to the right. Center. Reach to the left. Center. One more time, parallel feet. Right. Excellent. Nice job, everybody. Center and left. Reach, reach, reach. And center. So we'll go back into warrior two. And then this time we'll reach over to the right just like you've done so perfectly. But then you'll go into the variation of reverse warrior that you like. And let's go into extended side angle pose. Left forearm to the leg, right arm can reach overhead or alongside the ear. And just a gentle lift of the front of the pelvis. People will do that to different degrees depending on what your back likes, but don't put up with any sensations there. That don't suit, that aren't maybe effortful, that's okay. But no, you want it to be manageable, of course. And let's look down. Bring the hands down and step back onto the knees. And then we'll lift up onto the knees. So when you're ready to, step your left knee an inch or two forward of your right knee. And then let your torso turn over to the right a little bit. So imagine it like you were walking, your left leg is a step forward, except of course you're on your knees, and the torso shifts over to the right some. Inhale, lift your arms up. Maybe do a little tiny bit of a back bend, see how this feels, because obviously your torso and your legs are not lined up, which is fine. The body is meant to do this. And then go ahead and reach forward, round your back, drop your head, maybe even take your torso a little bit more to the right. Come on back up, face forward. You can relax your arms, bring your left knee back, your right knee forward. So again, the legs are a little bit staggered. And then follow along with a kind of natural inclination of your hip to shift over to the left, or to shift back in space, your left hip to shift back. You can lift your arms. And when you're ready, lift your chest, take your arms back, maybe start looking up, and then go ahead and round your back as you move your torso over to the left. Reach your arms away, drop your head, maybe even reach over to the left some. Come on back to center, take your left knee forward. So your legs are now level. Lift your arms, fan out your fingers, take your arms back, maybe just your arms. If you'd like, you can do a little bit of a back bend. Go ahead and sit up. And let's lie down on the back, however you want to get there. Bring your legs to touch. Lift your heels. If you want to scoot the toes a little bit closer, go ahead, but lift your heels. Squeeze your legs in. Lift your hips up. Let's keep most of the back of the rib cage on the ground. So definitely your shoulders, your upper back are down. The space between your shoulder blades real close to the floor. You're squeezing your knees in towards each other and you're tucking your tailbone. Squeeze, squeeze, breathe, breathe. Spend no other energy. Just squeeze your legs in, tuck your tailbone, breathe. Squeeze your legs in, tuck your tailbone, breathe. And relax your hips to the floor. Separate your feet, turn your knees and your feet out. Keep the back of the ribcage on the floor, lift your pelvis, lift your hips. Because the back of the ribcage is not lifting at all, this isn't so much of a back bend as it is an engaging in the hips. So imagine you had a big band wrapped around your knees and you were trying to, like a giant rubber band around your legs, and you were trying to stretch it out. Tuck your tailbone. You can even come up onto the heels if you want, but lift your hips for 2 more breaths. Keep the back of the ribcage low so the front of the ribcage tucks in. And then relax. Parallel feet. Squeeze your feet close to your sit bones, your arms by your sides. Now lift your hips, end your spine, come into a bridge pose. So now the back bend's included. You don't have to do this if you prefer the other ones, it's fine. 3 breaths. The big toe sides of the feet squeeze in. The chest kind of buoys up towards the ceiling. Move the arms. Lower your upper back, mid back, and low back to the floor. Let your knees just flop to the right. Let them right back up, flop to the left. A couple more times. And the next time your knees go over to the right, shift your hips over to the right some so you're more on your right hip, but the left hip can come off the floor. And move into your twist. Whatever one you like. And again, notice, especially because of where you know we're headed, does it feel in any sense, with thought, with your efforting in the body, does it feel like you're using the gas and the brakes at the same time? And can you just gently step on the brakes? Let go of the gas? Let's twist to the other side. All brakes. Take your time. Good. You come back to center. Choose to either cross your ankles and grab onto your feet, rock side to side, or a happy baby pose. If you want, you can separate your feet. Again, do the one that you like the best. Stretching out your hips a little. And it's time for Shavasana. Good. So whatever you need to do, however you need to place your limbs so you feel that maximum comfort again. Let the eyes close. So a lot of this is that sense of surrendering again, kind of relinquishing the need to control. And maybe I don't have to say this as often as I do, but I'll say it anyway. This never means not doing anything. It never means you just become completely passive and spend the rest of your life on the couch or in a cave. But we cannot afford to be stressed out all of the time. There's nothing but evidence showing this, showing that it's not going to help us or anyone else. So this thing that you're doing for yourself right now, it's so brilliant. It's so good for you. It's so good for everyone in your life. It's good even for the people that you'll never meet, because it contributes so much to what you contribute, to who you are. So let this be easy. Let your body and let your mind feel safe. Just keep, every once in a while, going home, allowing everything to flow without fighting. And in a sense, this does mean, of course, being kind of stingy about your energy, about what you make important. So again, let go and very fully step back and just surrender. Surrender your body to the ground, your mind to those places of peace and quiet. We're going to have another 30 seconds or so here. And again, these words like surrender and relinquish, really follow through with that, allow for that. Don't look for any answers. If you feel the energy of anticipation or wanting, just step back and observe what it feels like. You don't have to identify with it. You're just watching. Maybe with a little more softness in the forehead, the eyelids, the jaw. You can stretch a little bit. Maybe reach your arms overhead if you like the way that feels, and fan out your fingers, point your feet, roll your wrist, your ankles. Couple easy filling breaths. Let's you all please roll onto your right side. I skim through this a lot. It's optional, it always is, but for today, roll onto your right side and just curl up. Make a pillow with your right arm. Take your knees in and let your body just collapse into the floor. And push your left hand into the floor. You might stretch your left leg out and use that to help you sit up in a way that feels easy, can look like whatever it looks like. And you'll have this short moment. You can imagine, kind of embody this idea that you are spending zero effort. Let everything be easy. Let your body feel safe. And if you want to fold forward, place the hands where you'd like them. Have a breath in, and then fold. And thank you very, very, very much, everybody.